Welcome to the midweek edition of The Conversation here on Lagos Television. I am Abimbola Bilo.
Good morning and welcome to the show. I am Ajibola Ojeshola, a proud Chelsea fan.
Ajibola, please.
Good morning and welcome. I enjoy you.
Well, even in the midst of losing, I don't know, that match last night, I think after the first goal, it was so certain that one man, not Chelsea, Lale. When I saw that it was 3-0, I said, well, I wasn't expecting any miracles. But again, you know those boys. I think, I don't know if it is that they don't even know what they are playing, or if they are playing for Rosanio to be sacked. Because I think majority of them didn't like the fact that Maresca was sacked. So I really don't know what's going on with the Chelsea team. But I know that the sky will remain blue.
Blue, yeah, absolutely. And for me, I think the club is bigger than the coach that we hired. Maresca should have been left alone to finish his job till the end of the season. And with the way things are going, Abimbola, I doubt if we are going to qualify for Europa.
Even this number 6 is shaking. I don't know. Anyways, all right, let's come back home. I know that, you know, for a bit, Joe was just looking at the two of them like, okay, when you are ready, I'm here.
When you come back from the sky, you come back here.
When you're ready, I'm here. Okay, Joy, welcome back to the show. We missed you yesterday, but here you are today.
Thank you.
Okay, looking colorful in your red.
Yeah.
Our pocket is deep.
It's not that. It was not
pockets.
Ikeja Electric gave me strong tin, so I had to look for something that does not need to be
ironing.
Okay.
It's good. Sometimes it will make you look for under your wardrobe to rock to work.
Which band is your estate?
I don't even know where we are now. It's looking like we are bandless. I don't know where we are.
Funny enough, electricity supply in my area has been quite stable.
We've not had that for close to 2 days now.
Then there's something going on.
I don't know what is going on.
Are you on the Ikeja Disco?
Yes.
There's something going on. Anyway, let's come back onto the show and let's take our news points for today. Ajibola, let's start with you.
Alleged coup plot, Sylva, 5 others face trial. Officers' wives seek justice. The federal government will today arraign 6 individuals, including 2 retired senior military officers and a serving police inspector, before the Federal High Court in Abuja over alleged plot to wage war against Nigeria and overthrow the president. The defendants, retired Major General Mohammed Ibrahim Ghana, retired Captain Erasmus Victor, Inspector Ahmed Ibrahim, Zekeri Umoru, Bokar Kashim Goni, and Abdul Kadir Sani are billed to appear before Justice Joyce Abdul Malik. Also named in the charge but said to be at large is the former Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timpriye Sylva. The defendants are facing 13 counts bordering on conspiracy, attempt to commit treason, terrorism, failure to disclose security intelligence, financing terrorism, and money laundering. The charge filed on Monday by the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation and signed by the Director of Public Prosecutions, Rotimi Oyedepo SAN, accused them of offenses ranging from alleged attempt to overthrow the government to terrorism-related financing. According to the prosecution, the defendants allegedly conspired in 2025 to levy war against the state to overthrow the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. They are also accused of failing to report alleged knowledge of a planned treasonable act involving one Mohammed Al-Hassan, Maji, and others. The government further alleged that the defendants, knowing that the treasonable act was intended to be committed, did not give information thereof with all reasonable dispatch to either the president or a peace officer. They were also accused of failing to prevent the alleged offense, stating that they did not use any reasonable endeavors to prevent the commission of the offense. Inspector Ahmed Ibrahim and Zekeri Umoru were also accused of attending meetings allegedly linked to the plot in a bid to further a political ideology which may seriously destabilize the constitutional structure of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The charge further alleged that the defendants knowingly and indirectly rendered support for acts of terrorism and also failed to disclose critical intelligence to security agencies. Abdul Kadir Sani was accused of receiving 2 million naira on September 3, 2025, while Bukar Kashim allegedly retained 50 million naira from account linked to A&A Express Limited. Zakariu Umaru was also accused of receiving 10 million naira cash from Maji and retaining 8.8 million in his account, while Inspector Ahmed Ibrahim allegedly received 1 million from the same source. The offences, according to the charge, contravene Section 3, Subsection 2 of the 1999 Constitution, an Act of Money Laundering Prohibition Act of 2022. So that's the story. You know, last year, initially it was a rumor, and later it was confirmed that some people actually planned to overthrow the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Unfortunately, they were not successful, and so the federal government has decided to charge them to court. So they will be facing the law of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and if they are found guilty at the end of the day, they will face the music for their actions.
Right. Of course, until proven otherwise guilty, they remain suspect, and of course, they will have their day in court. And they would have to also prove beyond reasonable doubt how those monies, came about into their account, considering the fact that they are civil servants. So it's going to be a long one here. What kind of work warranted such payment? It's going to be, they'll have their day in court, as we said. So let's see how this pans out. At the end of the day, we really cannot speak much about it because it's a case that is already charged to court. Let's take the second story. This morning, it is on security matters as NAV airstrikes hit targets, eliminate several terrorists in Sambisa. The Nigerian Air Force, NAV, through the air component of Operations Hardin Kai, has sustained intense pressure on terrorist elements in the northeast with a precision airstrike on 19th April 2026, eliminating several fighters concealed within the UA axis of the Sambisa forest. The operation followed credible intelligence corroborated by intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance RSR, which confirmed the presence of active terrorist elements within fortified structures and bunkers. NAV's Director of Public Relations, Air Commodore Ehime Ejodame, said that air assets engaged the target with precision munitions, destroying the structures, neutralizing multiple terrorists, and eliminating key logistics facilities. As confirmed by subsequent battle damage assessment, it said the sustained tempo of air operations continues to degrade terrorist networks, leaving the terrorists increasingly exposed and disrupted, with mounting pressure forcing them into desperate and reactive actions. Reaffirming the service resolve, the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sunday Aneke, stated, and I quote, "The Nigerian Air Force will sustain relentless intelligence-driven air operations until terrorist elements are completely neutralized. We remain committed to the protection of our personnel, the security of our nation, and the safety of all citizens." End of quote. That's about it. Other stories are also embedded in this particular report. But, I mean, taking a look, today is 22nd. This particular airstrike was undertaken on the 19th. That's about, give or take 2 days. And nobody has come out to say that civilians were struck this time around. So meaning that, of course, and the question to ask is, what is in this Sambisa forest that these guys are always gathering there? So it means that it remains a safe enclave for them. And so until the Nigerian Air Force and other military forces continue to make this place inhabitable, a place where these guys cannot take cover, a place where these guys cannot converge and plan, their heinous activities, then, these guys will continue to gather there, even though they also behave like nomads. They shift from one place to the other, but within the same, the forest. And like we've heard, Sambisa forest is quite a huge forest, that is really large and all of that. But with sustained surveillance, constant, I don't want to use the word bombing.
I was going to say that.
But constant, bombardment of where they are making this place inhabitable for these guys, then we might begin to say that gradually maybe Nigeria is taking back, this. But you cannot do this once and think we've won. It has to be continuous. But in all of this, the Nigerian Air Force needs to also ensure that, you know, before they carry out any activity, it is proven beyond reasonable doubt that the guys there are really the guys they intend to bomb. So we also do not record casualties of people that ordinarily should not have been hit.
Absolutely, I do agree with you, Abimbola. And this Sambisa forest for me is becoming, I don't even know what to call it, but like you said,
if
indeed
there's a treasure in that place, that's
treasure for terrorists.
Yeah, it's a forest, and you know how these things are. I've never been there, but the way they actually say this place is actually, you know, thick forest that actually you can be hidden. You know,
so how do they navigate their way?
Are you a terrorist? That you all don't know how to navigate. They navigate on bikes, not necessarily on cars. You know, different things. But again, it just shows that, you know, wherever there is a pathway, people will find their way. And because in the thick of the forest, they can actually, you know, it is well.
And like you said, we have not won the war yet. We should intensify more action so that this problem of insecurity that Nigeria is currently facing will become a thing of the past.
Yeah, joy.
All right, here in Lagos, Council boosts Lagos orphanages with 60 million naira support. No fewer than 11 orphanages across Lagos have received 60 million naira worth of household and welfare items in an intervention led by the Committee of Wives of Lagos State officials as the state government ramps up support for vulnerable children. The donations, facilitated under the leadership of the First Lady, Dr. Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu, were presented on Tuesday at the First Lady's office in Alausa, Ikeja, where officials described as the 6th edition of the state-backed outreach to orphanages. I want to go down to where the things that were given to them. Okay, items distributed included televisions, deep freezers, washing machines, generators, inverters, mattresses, food supplies, and toiletries. The First Lady stressed that the donations were not arbitrary but tailored to address specific gaps and improve living conditions, operational efficiency, and overall well-being of children in the homes. That's basically the thrust of the story. But this is a good one. This would go a long way in ensuring that the children in these homes live comfortably.
Yeah, agreed. You know, there's really for vulnerable children or for children whom there's...
I'm also vulnerable. I'm an orphan.
Okay. Well, you're not in an orphanage.
You're not in an orphanage. You're above 18. I think once you're above 18, I don't know, but
so,
when you're an adult, you go out and live your life.
For these children, I'm sure that it will be a sigh of relief, but also for I know that this will not be the first time council will intervene in things like this, but also the homes and the administrators of the homes also need to do a lot better when it comes to taking proper care of these donations. You can only find such a magnitude of donation coming from government.
Yeah.
Yes, I know that, proceeds from council and then from other well-meaning Nigerians who will also join council, but hardly would you find an individual who will spend this much, on things like this. So, and you don't know when such will come again. So don't assume that it will always come. Just ensure that you manage properly, keep for the rainy days. And we know that, of course, orphanages often rely on help from, donations and philanthropy activities. But it would also be nice that the administrators of these orphanages are also very prudent when it comes to items that come to them. Don't think that it will always be a rainy day. There are days that
it'll be dry.
Yeah, things might not come when expected. Let's go on to the X platform this morning and take a look at one of the many trending stories there. So when this news broke yesterday evening, the 2 cabinet members had been left off the hook from Mr. President's Federal Executive Council. It came as a shock that Wale Edu was one of the people that had to leave you know, the cabinet, and of course the other minister for housing, even though it was not that popular, Musa Dangiwa, but then Wale Edun came as a lot of surprise, and many questions were being asked. Why is he living at this particular moment, knowing again that he did not resign? It was the cabinet shuffle. And, you know, a lot of people were saying sack, sack, sack. And I'm like, was it really a sack? So don't leave my cabinet or go.
He has
it's
the right
a reshuffle.
to fire and
exactly. So was it really? And I think, you know, there are times that we have said it here again many times that sometimes it just feels like some people are no longer in alignment with what you're doing, or maybe. And we also know that, let's not hide from the fact that he's had health issues for a while. So maybe it's just time for him to
go and rest.
Take a leave, go and rest, go and do other things. And, you know, or maybe it was also, maybe also the president quietly shopped for a good replacement before allowing him, you know, take a leave and all of that. But if this is for, you know, the overall growth of Nigeria's economy, we can only wish Wale doing well. But I think he's done well.
He's done well.
He's done well within the period for which he served Nigeria. And I'm sure that, you know, when this administration came on board, we all remember where the inflation rate was. But now inflation rate is, you know, about 15 point something%. We know what the exchange rate was at that particular time. We know where the reserve is also at the moment. He didn't speak much, but I think he contributed his quota to the economy. And if now is the time for him to take a bow, for whatever reason it is, Wale Edun, you have done well.
Like you rightly said, it was shocking for me because Wale Edun, so to say, is a member of the inner chamber of Mr. President. That's of housing minister who was relieved of his appointment. I wasn't surprised because I hardly knew, even if he existed at all, because there was nothing coming from that ministry. But that of Wale Edun for me was very shocking. But he had done his bit. He had done his best for the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He should go home and rest and, of course, engage himself in some other things. And we'll be looking forward to some of those improvements that Mr. Taiwo Oyedele would also be bringing on board to also further stabilize the economy of Nigeria.
About you know, you know, so some other people are saying that is the new minister, does he have a Kimi enough to withhold
that seat is hot.
To withhold what is coming? You know, being in the midst of politicians, because, you know, he's always been in the private sector, PwC, KPMG. Now that he's in the public sector, in the eye of the storm, is it wired for what is to come?
Time will tell.
Prepare himself.
Time will tell. And I think he will learn well. He will learn well.
Because the corporate world is completely different from politics.
It is not even the same at all.
And you will see a lot of drama coming from the National Assembly of the Green Chamber, the Red Chamber. You know the way they talk when they call upon you to come and give accounts.
Well, it is not even only the chambers here. There are people whom we do not even see that are pressure on their own. That they are the Red Seas on their own. But we do hope that Mr. Taiwo Oyedele will weather the storm. And we must also begin to normalize the fact that if you're not cut out for this thing, just leave. Resign and say, you know what, but let's watch out for the very best as Nigeria's economy pushes forward. All right, you can go onto the X platform this morning to take a further read on why Wale Edun is trending. We'll take a quick break. When we return, it will be time to take today's column before we go into the conversation for today.